Please be seated. Welcome to Mount St. Vincent University on this beautiful day. My name is Brooke Taylor, and I am the Interim Vice President, Academic and Provo. We will begin with our land acknowledgement. MSVU is located on unceded ancestral Mi'kmaq territory. This territory is covered by the covenant chain of treaties of peace, friendship signed between 1725 and 1779. We pay respect to the knowledge embedded in the Indigenous customs of this land and to the elders past, present, and future. Today's event is also being celebrated on social media. We invite you to join us in using the hashtag MSVUgrad2021, all one word. You can log into our secure wireless using Mount, and the password is Convocation21, again, one word. I now invite Delvina Bernard to the podium for the invocation.
As Brooke has already given away, my name is Delvina Bernard. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm an 8th generation African Nova Scotian, a proud Mount St. Vincent University graduate of a class of 2000, and I am the newly appointed Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and Accessibility Advisor here at Mount St. Vincent University. I just want to say that I'm truly honored to be here to witness such an important part of your university experience, and I'm so very proud of all that you have accomplished during your time here at Mount St. Vincent. And I'm proud of the fact that you chose Mount St. Vincent University, just as I did many, many years ago. And I'm especially proud because I know Mount St. Vincent University is taking bold steps to ensure that no matter what your station, your location in life, that you will have a positive learning experience on this campus that honors and affirms you. I know it wasn't easy. Many of you kept full-time jobs, raised families along the way, faced challenges, big and small. You worked hard. You pushed yourselves outside of your comfort zone. And at times, this was difficult, but you did not give up. Even in the face of the world's greatest challenge to date that we know of, the COVID-19 pandemic, you persevered. I congratulate you on your accomplishments. May all that has helped you during your university experience continue to serve you well. Let us take a moment to remember all those who've supported you on this journey. Your parents, your grandparents, spouses, partners, children and dear friends, for the teachers and mentors and professors. Some of you might even want to thank Google for that little fact that you needed just before that assignment. On a more serious note, they all played a very big part in the reason why we are sitting here today. Though many of you are leaving our campus, We know you will always be part of the Mount St. University family. May the bonds that have been created here remain strong despite any distance you may travel. I wish you the very best of luck and every possible blessing as you continue on your journey.
Thank you, Delvina. I invite Dr. Ramona Lumpkin, Interim President and Vice Chancellor, to the podium for welcoming remarks and an address to the graduates.
Distinguished guests, faculty, staff, graduands, alumni, families, and friends. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to Mount St. Vincent University's Fall 2020-21 Convocation. At our Convocation ceremony today, we gathered to celebrate, today and yesterday, this is our third, we gathered to celebrate the accomplishments of more than 455 of our students from 20 different countries. They have completed their required courses of study and now received their certificates, diplomas, and degrees from 33 programs. 61 students are graduating with distinction, and 6 students are graduating with first-class honors. 18 students will receive a Senate Award of Distinction as they graduate with distinction and highest aggregate in their diploma or bachelor program. We are very proud of today's graduands, and on behalf of the entire Mount St. Vincent University community, I congratulate you on achieving your academic goals at the Mount. It's hard to believe, but this weekend is our first in-person convocation at the Mount in 2 years. Of course, things are a little different this time around. We're hosting 3 ceremonies instead of 2. We're all wearing masks, and proof of vaccination has been required. So different, but still wonderful to be together with all of you in our auditorium once again. Gathering as we are today carries such significance. It's something that's been especially evident during the pandemic-related restrictions we've all endured in recent months. Not being able to gather makes us appreciate it so much the more when we're able to be together. I'd like to take a moment to mention a particularly significant gathering that took place at the Wigwam located here on our campus recently. On October 20th, a group of Indigenous community representatives, including residential school survivors, First Nations community leaders, elders, and Mount St. Vincent University LNU Advisory Circle members, gathered with university representatives, including our special advisor to the university on Indigenous Affairs, Patrick Small-Legs Nagy, who has been invaluable with his wisdom and guidance in taking us through these times. And we gathered for a ceremony of apology and commitment to Indigenous peoples. During the ceremony, I expressed our sorrow for our university's role in the tragedy of residential schools in Canada and shared a list of commitments the university is making. These commitments to Indigenous peoples build upon work already undertaken at the Mount for many years and are based on a pledge to listen, to learn, and to continue taking enduring action. As we move forward in this work, we will walk with Indigenous community members on a healing journey towards long-term sustainable change. I'm sure you won't be surprised to hear that a focus on women and girls is critically important to our truth and reconciliation efforts. Our dedication to advancing women and girls remains core to our foundational purpose here at Mount St. Vincent University, part of our heritage and our founding principles. And along with our commitment to women's education, we continue to be inspired by our strong and long-standing tradition of social responsibility. We seek to prepare all our students and our graduates to be advocates, champions, social justice warriors, and leaders. I'm so proud to see members of our university community demonstrating these qualities every single day, influencing change in ways both big and small. As the pandemic has clearly shown us, you don't have to be in the spotlight to make a difference. Those who quietly take on the tasks behind the scenes matter just as much as those standing on the stage. Each of us has contributions only we can make, gifts we can share for the benefit of our community. Every one of us can be an everyday hero. Today, I call upon you, the graduating class of 2021, to use your gifts in everyday hero ways. We can sometimes feel helpless in the face of adversity. No doubt many in our communities have felt that way at some point during the COVID-19 pandemic. But times like these are also a reminder of the valuable contributions we can all make. Times like these are when everyday heroes matter the most. Across the Mount student and alumni community, there are so many examples of everyday heroes that I can cite. Like Mount St. Vincent University student Cheyenne Hardy, who recently presented the Mi'kmaq Native Friendship Center with a quilt she designed as a gift from the younger generation to those who continue to suffer because of the tragedy of Canada's residential schools. So much more than a blanket, Cheyenne described the quilt this way: it's a gift that says, we see you struggling and we want to wrap you in our love and understanding. There's also Eleftherios Mikalopoulos, our first ever 80-year-old graduate of the Faculty of Education, who this afternoon will cross the Convocation stage to receive his Master's of Education in what else but lifelong learning. From teaching English to children in Mexico and raising funds and awareness for the Heart and Stroke Foundation, to his caring support for his classmates, he's changed more lives than he'll ever be able to count. A commitment to community is also evident in the actions of Mount faculty and staff, many of whom are applying their expertise to improve lives. For example, Dr. Alex Kasnabish, who's engaging low-wage and precarious workers in Halifax to better understand what prevents or propels people to change their working and living conditions. And Dr. Audra Cole, whose work spotlights the role cherished pets play in seniors' lives with a view to developing a model of canine residency in long-term care. And Kim Musgrave, a 2020 winner of the President's Prize for Service. Until her very recent retirement, Kim served as the accessibility advisor at the Mount and led with compassion in her quest to ensure students with disabilities have equal opportunities for academic success and personal development. And speaking of our exceptional faculty and staff, I'd be remiss if I didn't highlight the incredible work they've done to keep our students learning throughout the pandemic. As well, to all those who work to care for our campus while the majority of our operations shifted online or provided continuity of on-campus services these past many months, we all extend our heartfelt thanks. Graduands, you each have many gifts in you to give. Each of you has shown impressive persistence and resilience as you continued your studies, finished your degrees, and now receive your parchments during a pandemic. By combining that kind of determination with an openness to sharing your personal gifts, you'll go far. showing the world that you are the everyday heroes that I know you are. I now invite each of you graduands to join me in thanking the Mount faculty and staff who have guided your growth and learning. You've been taught and supported by the very best, as well as the family and friends who have supported you in countless ways throughout your time with us. So, graduands, would you please join me in giving all those folks a round of thank you applause. Thanks. Finally, I want to acknowledge all the people who've worked to prepare for today's ceremony. Ceremonies like this don't just happen, as I'm sure you all know. The colleagues who've worked throughout to prepare the grounds, the building, the programs, the ceremony, all the spaces, and the arrangements for our graduates and for your family and friends, all of those things have contributed to making today special for you and your families, and our celebration wouldn't be possible without them. So thank you to all who worked in making Convocation today. Such a beautiful success and time for us to come together and celebrate. Finally, graduands, today we thank you, celebrate you, and bid you farewell, confident that your future will be enriched as a result of the time you spent here at the Mount and all that you've invested in that time. We look forward to having you as long-term members of the Mount family and to welcoming you back as alumni. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ramona. I would now invite Dr. L. Jones to the podium to introduce Mount St. Vincent Honorary Degree recipient, Dr. Lynn Jones. Dr. Lynn Jones received her MSvu honorary degree at our virtual ceremony in the autumn of 2020. She has graciously agreed to join us to deliver remarks a year later at today's ceremony in person. So I ask Elle to come, please.
Good afternoon. In our community, when we want to give the highest honors, we do it in either song or verse. I can't sing, so this one is in verse. She was born in an ordinary house in the marsh in Truro. At a time when black people were not meant to grow, Europeans at the top and black people below, they said that's the way that the world ought to go. But none of her family accepted that's so. Fighting racism in those times was hardly a joke. In the days when white people, they rode with a rope born to proud African people, descendant from a war hero, refusing to accept our contributions were zero. More than 7 generations of African Nova Scotians arose, and knowing how history they try to control, she cut from magazines images of pyramids and beautiful black pharaohs, documenting where we're from, so we know where to go and how we will get there with unshaken souls. Guided by the God who keeps his eye on the smallest of sparrows, her community is the bow and she is the arrow, fighting to make our limits a little less narrow. The floodwaters we face have never been shallow. We know this world borrows from black women and leaves us in sorrow, crediting men with the movements that bring us tomorrow, too often told to stand aside or inside men's shadows, and yet justice sings in her right down to her marrow, leading us upwards like Mount Kilimanjaro. Like so many black women before her unknown, when there's ripples in the lake, we know they're the stone. She would say it's community and she's never alone, but let me remind you of some of the things she has done. running for office, even though her accolades they stole. She showed Black women never settle for a second-class role. She's so often been erased from the narratives told. First Black woman in labor executive, work round the globe, chosen to go to South Africa to monitor the vote like the rising of tide that lifts up all boats. If there's struggle, she's there with chants in her throat. When they try and come at us, she's there with a quote. When they try to sink us, she keeps us afloat. And she shows us our energies we can devote to the struggle for Africans to get what we're owed. Reparations for centuries of carrying the load. Let them know who lit the fire when they see the smoke. Been out here for decades before it was woke. In blizzards, when she's sick, when her body is broke, there's nothing to keep her from doing the most. And us younger Black women, we're here taking notes. But this mother of the movement, she never will boast. She'll keep lifting as long as our humanities oppose the shoulders of the community, the spine, and the bones. So please welcome to the podium, Dr. Lynn Jones.
My gosh, I should just let Al continue. Find my glasses here. Chancellor Fitzpatrick, President Lumpkin, members of the Board of Governors, members of Senate, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, graduates, alumni, families, and friends. It is such a great honor to be invited to stand here today to speak to the graduating class. Last year, as was mentioned already, I was the recipient of an honorary doctorate, but I was only able to be part of the ceremony online. So it is a pleasure to be here today in person celebrating with all of you after almost 2 years of being unable to gather. Amazing. But being in person, as you can see, comes with its own challenges. You can see today that walking's difficult for me. And in preparing to come and give this speech, so much planning had to go into just navigating the space to get to this podium. So often we say to people in our movements to just show up without thinking that not everybody can. And not everybody can show up in the same way. And so as we move from a time of pandemic into a time of recovery, it is also a call, don't leave anybody behind. Remember, who may not be able to climb the stair, or whose body places like this still may not fit. And I was glad when the president mentioned the work of the students of persons with disabilities and faculty. The Mount is an institution that began and developed during an age when women's advanced education was really scarce. Today, you stand on the shoulders of those who understood not only the need for women's higher education, but also were equipped with the knowledge that men must respect and learn about the progressive realities of women's lived experiences. I also know, and has also been mentioned, that recently your president, Dr. Ramona Lumpkin, apologized for the role of Mount St. Vincent University in residential schools, and I know she didn't take that lightly. It is a stark reminder that often the places that are progressive for some are built on the backs of the very lives of others. It's a reminder that, as James Baldwin said, a well-known African-American poet and writer, underneath the cathedral of history are the bones of the crypt. We must not be afraid to take out those bones. Have a look at them. Those of you graduating from this ceremony, you're planning to work in education, I think. The choices you make of care, education's a caring field, rather than to punish or punishment. Understanding, rather than always judging. Listening, and I say active listening, rather than just assuming or assumption, will be carried in the hearts of your students, because they will remember for years to come. You can build the world to come in the choices you make every day. I believe it's important for you to know that the commitment to girls' and women's education, it was a matter of seriousness and pride in the family I grew up in, and in that wonderful introduction that Elle just gave, she mentioned some things about my family and what I grew up in. My mother, Willina Jones, attended college late in life. She wasn't able to go earlier. After her and my dad, Elmer Jones, raised and educated me and 9 siblings, 7 girls and 3 boys in all. And we were one of the smaller families in the community. After ensuring her children's education and equipped with her grade 5 education, Mom went on to graduate from our hometown college at the ripe old age of 60 years old. I hear, and it's been alluded to, we have an 80-year-old graduate, which is just so fantastic and deserves a round of applause, for sure. Mom was immediately employed in the Colchester County school system, and in 1977, she became the first licensed Black teacher to teach in Truro, Nova Scotia. I had long left by then. She valued education like most people value air. Education required lifelong learning. As an African-Canadian activist and womanist, I know the importance of the education of women to the struggle for economic and social equality locally and globally. Graduates of today, and it's hard to turn around and capture all of you, I wonder if the work that my mom and others in her generation did, or even the work that I do, has shaped your journey. And if so, has it helped you to be a lifelong activist for caring and effective social change? Has our work motivated you enough to reject, throw out the status quo, and instead imagine a world that adopts anti-oppression, equity, and equality at its core? The struggle of people for equity and equality is, for me, a struggle for change as important as the air we breathe. As you move forward in your careers and life work, will you remember this learning and apply it? How will you use your education to make correcting these inequalities part of your life's work? Or will you do it all? Will you care? Will changing inequality become as important to you as my mom's as the air you breathe? Last year when I spoke at a graduation, it was only months after the murder of George Floyd. George Floyd, you can all remember, said, "I can't breathe." He said he could not breathe. In his last moments, he cried out for his mother. Immediately and without permission, it was the young people that reacted first. You hit the streets in protest and used social networks that many of us older folks didn't even know about, declaring enough is enough. Change can sometimes happen like that. A light bulb moment arises, and what was tolerable is no longer acceptable. Since that time, the officer who killed Floyd has been convicted. But what has really changed? Floyd was killed over a $20 bill. In Nova Scotia, a young African Nova Scotian mother was beaten and arrested in Walmart over a few lemons and a head of lettuce. A black MLA was pulled over at gunpoint by the police during the provincial election campaign. A young man at work site in Pictou was shot with a nail gun. His assailant received house arrest, while young black men sit in jail for much less. Black children tell stories of being suspended and alienated in the school system. The stories go on and on. We know that the problems of centuries cannot be wiped out with one conviction, nor do they fall away after 1 or even 100 protests. And believe you me, I do a lot of protesting. It is in these moments when it seems the world has moved on that we must find our deepest strength and courage. Who are you when the world is not looking at you? What do you fight for, even if it seems nobody is paying attention? To make it this far in your education, you have found great resilience. You have persevered. And now you must ask yourself, what will you do with what you have learned when you are not being graded? No more marks. No professor saying, that's right, that's wrong. Do it differently. What do you not yet know? What must you still unlearn? One of the greatest crimes ever committed is the crime against humanity committed during the transatlantic slave trade of African people. Over 400 years of brutality and anti-Black racism, whose effects reverberate up to present day, with the call for reparations still going unanswered. George Floyd's and other related deaths of Black people remind us of the little value placed on Black people's lives throughout history. In Canada, for the first time ever this year, and all of you should remember Emancipation Day. What a thrill. It marks the end of slavery across the former British Empire. It took nearly 200 years for Canada to acknowledge this date, honored by Africans all around the globe. Maya Angelou said, "I am the hope and dream of the slave." But I do not believe that dream is fulfilled until all of us are liberated. There can be no liberation without truth, and no truth without reparation. And for reparation to be real, we must be willing to confront and change all the systems that oppress us forever and ever and ever. It is the age of climate change. I couldn't do this speech without talking about climate change, especially what's going on in Scotland, which I've been following, and ending environmental racism. This too is part of the air we breathe, and your generation, more than any other, understands the value of clean air and anti-racism. Once again, we declare that enough is enough. You are among the privileged of this society. You've been blessed with the opportunity to pursue higher education and also are tasked with training minds in the value and substance of receiving a good education. But I'd like to stop to caution you to use this privilege wisely, as education without action is miseducation. These are challenging and exciting times. My generation stood on the shoulders that fought for social change before us. You too look to your elders to lead and inspire, even as you act without approval, to move forward and create the change that needs to be made. Let's champion this change together. Thank you, and I wish you all well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. We now have an interlude in the program, a performance of traditional Mi'kmaq song and dance offered by J.C. Syllaboy and Raymond Sewell.
Thank you everyone for having us here to share our Montreal Indians and dances and get a bit of the song. I share with you a traditional drum and Kulalian Kiso, Kulalian Kisino,
like to thank JC and Raymond for that performance. And I'd also like to use this opportunity to thank Shimon Walt Music for performing the processional music as we came in and the recessional music when we will depart later. I would ask the president of the MSVU Alumni Association, Joanne Bernard, to provide welcome. Joanne.
Chancellor Fitzpatrick, Interim President Lumpkin, graduates, distinguished guests, faculty, families, and friends. I'm thrilled to be standing here in person after such a challenging 18 months, celebrating the incredible effort that each of you have made to get to this momentous point in your life. On behalf of the Mount St. Vincent Alumni Association, welcome to the alumni family. You are now among the 35,000 Mount graduates who have contributed to this university's rich history. We are so proud of your resiliency, your perseverance, and strength, and we commend you on your academic and personal accomplishments. Congratulations. I can say with both experience and confidence that your Mount education will influence many aspects of your life moving forward. Your professors, your peers, and the Mount community have helped form a unique and rich foundation for your bright future. Throughout your time here, your experiences may have also been shaped in part by those who have graduated before you. As guest lecturers, co-op employers, university staff, mentors, and Mystic fans, you have undoubtedly felt the impact of the alumni who remain connected to this special place. And there are many ways for you to stay connected to the Mount. You might volunteer your time, you might mentor a student, or be an ambassador in recruiting new students. You are an important part of our story, and I hope that when you leave here today and begin the next phase of your life, that you too, like the alumni before you, will remain connected to the Mount community. As you are bestowed your degrees today, you also receive an alumni lapel pin to mark your membership in the Alumni Association. You will become one of many thousands of women and men who have come from around the globe to study at the Mount. So please wear your pin with pride. You will also have received your alumni card when you picked up your gown for today's ceremony. And this is your self-identifier as a Mount graduate, allowing you to take advantage of the benefits and discounts available to us. So enjoy. On behalf of the Mount alumni, congratulations and welcome to our family. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. So now comes the moment for which you've all been waiting, the presentation of the graduates. I know that many of you want to capture this moment on camera, and in a normal year, we would welcome you down to the edge of the platform to do so. But on this occasion, as we continue to navigate the ongoing complications of COVID, we'd ask that you remain seated throughout the ceremony. I would invite Dr. Anthony Card, Dean of Education, to come to the podium.
Good afternoon and welcome. Before we begin, I'd like to say some words about the Senate Awards of Distinction. The Senate Awards of Distinction are engraved pewter medals awarded by the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University. The undergraduate awards are presented in recognition of superior academic achievement to the student who graduates with distinction and the highest aggregate. The Master's Awards are presented upon recommendation of each graduate program. The awards will be presented along with the parchments. Chancellor Fitzpatrick, it is my pleasure to present to you the candidates for Collegiate Honours of Graduation. I attest that they have successfully completed the required courses of study, and they ask that they be admitted to the master's degree. Mount St. Vincent University confers the degree of Master of Education on Amy Anderson.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Master of Education with all the rights and privileges thereto befold. Congratulations.
Franklin Arthur.
I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Scott Andrew Baker.
I confer the degree of Master of Education.
Sarah Barron.
I confer the degree of Master of Education.
Stephanie Benoit.
I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Sonia Big.
Sonia, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Heather Boucher.
Heather, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Nicole Bose-Cashin.
Nicole, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Sylvia Lisa Boyle.
Sylvia, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Joanna Broom.
Joanna, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Gregory Brophy.
Gregory, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Cherise Bryanton.
Cherise, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Jennifer Colson.
Jennifer, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Lindsay Chandler.
Lindsay, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Tammy Chitty.
Tammy, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Julia Clahane.
Julia, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Marcy Ann Clark.
Marcy, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Dana Craythorne.
Dana, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Tatiana Curry.
Tatiana, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Laura Ann D'Entremont.
Laura, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Terry Decker.
Terry, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Laurie Dicker.
Laurie, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Patricia Dow.
Patricia, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Bethany Ellis.
Bethany, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Rhea Beth Fisher.
Rhea, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Laura Gates.
Laura, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Melissa Gallant.
Melissa, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Nicole Elizabeth Gandossi.
Nicole, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Zachary Lee Gauthier.
Zachary, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Jacqueline Marie Junot.
Jacqueline, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Carly Elizabeth Gilbert.
Connie, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Jillian Elizabeth Greeno.
Jillian, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Julia Marion Grodkovich.
Julia, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Rhonda Harding.
Rhonda, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Caitlin Michelle Hislop.
Caitlin, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Nadja Carr.
Nadja, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Anita Kent.
Anita, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Adam Joel Langell.
Adam, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Sophie Langell.
Sophie, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Caitlin McDonald.
Tatian, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Kimberly McIntyre.
Kimberly, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Josette McIsaac.
Josette, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Danielle McClellan.
Danielle, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Rebecca Goff.
Rebecca, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Marie McGraw.
Marie, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Alison McClay.
Allison, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Noelle Messom.
Noelle, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Eleutherius Michaelopoulos.
Eleutherius, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Tatiana Moriel.
Tatiana, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Antonetta Mora.
Antonetta, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Ashley Muse.
Ashley, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Cassia Sloan Murphy.
Tasha, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Erica Nickerson.
Erica, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Michael Obeng.
Michael, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Emily Osmond.
Emily, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Sarah Paula Reeves.
Sarah, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Ryan Everett Richards.
Ryan, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Stephanie Selena Rideout.
Stephanie, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Tanya Jasso.
Tanya, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Jason Rodney.
Jason, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Jillian Ross.
Julian, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Michael Neil Rosson.
Michael, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Joanna Russell.
Joanna, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
George Saldana.
George, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Vanessa Singer.
Vanessa, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Beth Smith.
I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Kaylee Louise Smith.
Kaylee, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Catherine Steves.
Catherine, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Melanie Surrett.
Melanie, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Lisa Simmons.
Lisa, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Sonia Sophia Tancock.
Sonia, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Jennifer Clara Thomas.
Jennifer, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Wendy Ellen Turner.
Wendy, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Georgina Voltis.
Georgina, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Vienna Ray Waddell.
I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Ashley Walkinshaw.
Ashley, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Lacey Walkinshaw.
Lacey, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Caitlin Webb.
Caitlin, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Paula Lynn White.
Paula, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Christina Marie Winterton.
Christina, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Xingyu Yen.
Zitu, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Aaron Dwayne Zink.
Harry, I confer the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Mount St. Vincent University confers the degree of Master of Arts in Education on Angela Dwyer.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Master of Arts in Education with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Jun Li.
I confer the degree of Master of Arts in Education. Congratulations.
Mount St. Vincent University confirms the degree of Master of Arts in School Psychology on Sarah Ballard Campbell.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Master of Arts in School Psychology with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Emily Elizabeth Cote with Senate Medal of Distinction.
Emily, on behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Master of Arts in School Psychology with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Adina Leah Cox.
Athena, I confer the degree of Master of Arts in School Psychology. Congratulations.
Julia Sia Margaret Grenham.
Julia, I confer the degree of Master of Arts in School Psychology. Congratulations.
Shannon Squarey.
Sharon, I confer the degree of Master of Arts in School Psychology. Congratulations.
In absentia. In addition, we confer the appropriate degrees on all those presented to the University Senate.
I confer degrees in absentia on those persons so designated by the Dean.
Please join me in congratulating the new graduates of the Faculty of Education. We now turn to the awarding of the President's Prize. The President's Prize is a special award donated by the University President, awarded to the member of the graduating class whose energy, generosity, and commitment have enriched the university during their time as students and who show promise that their commitment will continue as alumni. It is with great pleasure that we present the President's Prize to Eleutherius Terry Michaelopoulos. Eleutherius Michaelopoulos is graduating with an M.Ed in lifelong learning and has shown a steadfast commitment to volunteerism and community service. He teaches ESL in Mexico and travels back and forth each year. Eleutherius has numerous community service-related accomplishments, and these include, in 2008, he walked the 870-kilometer Camino Trail in Spain and raised $20,000 for the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Nova Scotia. In 2009, the Lieutenant Governor of Nova Scotia presented him with the Community Spirit Award. In 2013, he received an Impact Award from Dalhousie University. Also in 2013, he was awarded Dalhousie's inaugural Volunteerism Award. In 2016 and 17, he walked around the Blue Nose Marathon and raised awareness for the importance of exercise for aging people to raise funds for the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Nova Scotia. In 2021, he was recipient of the Nova Scotia Provincial Volunteer Award. One of his recent commitments is advocating for age-friendly universities to support lifelong learning for older adults. At age 70, Eleutherius graduated with the Bachelor of Education of Arts and Science with majors in Spanish and Latin American Studies with distinction, and at the age of 73 with first-class honors, both as a full-time student at Dalhousie University. He's currently teaching Advanced Conversational English to immigrants, a new program that's run by the Halifax Municipality's libraries. During a walk-run for the Heart and Stroke Foundation, Terry, as he refers to himself, fell and broke an arm. He got back up, ran again, then fell and broke his other arm. His instructor, Dr. Susie Brigham, tells us that he turned up to class wearing a baggy wool sweater on a very hot day and sporting a beard. He explained that he was unable to shave or dress well or appropriately due to his arms. Despite the challenges, he remains steadfast and committed to his life goals. His instructors have commented on how impressed they've been with Eleutherius' dedication to lifelong learning. He draws on his many life experiences to help support his points and went well above and beyond in his assignments. Eleutherius has a lovely sense of humor, enthusiasm for learning, and a sense of productivity that's just infectious. He supports and encourages his classmates every year. We're not sure if Eleutherius is the oldest graduate MSVU, but at age 80, he's the oldest in the graduate lifelong learning program. His commitment and enthusiasm for lifelong learning makes him a wonderful role model for students of any age. Congratulations, Eleutherius. So in the normal course, it's at this point in our ceremony that I'd introduce our class valedictorian. But on this occasion, we are departing from form. Today, I'm pleased to introduce a class member who's not only a fitting spokesperson for the graduating class, but whom I'm confident will serve as an inspiration to all of us. I'd now like to invite Eleutherius Terry Michaelopoulos to deliver his remarks to the podium.
Well, well, well. If I don't cry today, I will never cry in my life. Thank you, Dean Card, for the introduction. I thank all the professors and mentors and fellow students who made my past 4 years everything that they were. The poet Diane Thomas wrote that one should not go gently into the good night, that old age should burn drag at the close of day. I saw aging not as a failing of the body, of the mind, and even of the spirit. I have seen different side of aging and active aging. Many people thrive into their 80s and even to their 90s, when others seem to retreat from life, prisoners of their own fears of failing, socially isolated and unhappy. I found that aging isn't a period of decay, but a unique developmental stage that, like infancy or adolescence, brings its own demands and its own challenges. For me, it was a journey the highway of knowledge. For me, it wasn't only the journey, but also the how to use the knowledge to help directly or indirectly others, young or older, to reach out, doing things that will help their communities they live in. It is a difference between passive and active learning. It is a difference between the I and the we. That brought me back to the realization for having a concrete plan. That plan was that I wrote it when I was almost graduated from Dalhousie University, and I wrote it at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was stated that my mission is to live a life based on ethics and values that are universal, to know my strengths and my limitations as a human being, and to provide my energy and knowledge to assist others through interdependence to make our world a better place to be. We live in different, divided, and disconnected times. The human experience of loneliness and isolation is one that is shared by too many people. Suffering is not so commonplace that we find ourselves to turn away from it. But kindness is all over. I found working as a dog greeter at Walmart store the past 2 years, others that were ready to open their hearts and talk about their lives. One day, an elderly lady in the late 70s said to me, "Please, sir, can you give me a hug?" In the midst of coronavirus, in the midst of having the manager looking at me, I spent too long time talking to you. I broke the company's protocol, and I gave her a hug. I couldn't resist. Later that day, I learned that she had lost her husband. Other customers will try to open a conversation just to beat loneliness. The power of compassion, of allowing time to talk, it is entirely free, but offers hardening evidence that when we make time for each other, the beneficial effects go far beyond the reach of naive optimism. I strongly believe that we are using a small amount of energy and knowledge to what we're able to do and accomplish. I believe that we have more love, and compassion, and ability and integrity hidden in our lives. My mission in life is to tell the world that we can have the life we want. We can wake up every morning and excited to be alive. And above all, in each of us is the ability to do good and ultimately to make our world we live a better place to be for us and for our children and our grandchildren. My name is Eleftherios Michalopoulos, 80 years old, and from the bottom of my heart, I do thank you for your listening.
I declare this convocation closed.
I would ask that the audience remain seated until the graduates have exited the auditorium after the singing of our national anthem, but ask that you now please stand for the singing of O Canada.